It's Monday, time for Sports Update. A lot of sports going on this week. Michael Jordan's gambling allegations, Torney, crazy, psycho, Leitner, madman. Yeah. Mike Tyson sent to jail. We're going to talk about it with two guys from one of the most popular sports radio talk shows in Southern California on Mighty 690. Please welcome the loose cannons, Chet Forte and Steve Hartman, folks. Hey, boys, let's get right to it. Who do we like in the tourney? Hartman, you got to be crushed.
Indiana all the way.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. The way they routed my Bruins, you know, that was a little embarrassing.
What happened to UCLA? They didn't even show.
You know, I had said I was going to reserve judgment on Jim Herrick until the season was over.
And now?
We're on TV. I can't say exactly how I feel. No, I'm just going to say Jim Herrick, I don't think he really was in control of this team.
No.
How can they be that flat for a game when they're one step away from the Final Four? I can't believe it.
What do you think, Chester?
Oh, I think Duke's going to win. I like Duke from the beginning. I think they're a much stronger team, and I think then it's a much smarter team. The Jim Herrick situation at UCLA, I don't understand at all. I think this team might have been built up too much at the beginning of the year. I saw a team that was lacking in fundamentals. You know, no rebounding, no blocking out, no leadership. I'm quite surprised they got that far, to be very honest with you. I wasn't surprised that they lost, but I think it's going to be, what a terrific game, Indiana against his ball club. Huh?
My ball club?
No, my ball club.
So Krzyzewski's just state-of-the-art, right, as far as the coach goes?
I think he's terrific.
It's not bad to have a Christian Leitner hitting miracle shots. You know, we were talking about the shot was great, but the pass was unbelievable. The guy threw the ball 3/4 of the way down the court, Grant Hill.
Right.
And that was a Joe Montana pass, right on the money.
But where's Pitino? Completely asleep. He doesn't put anybody on the guy taking the ball out of bounds, and he doesn't front and back Leitner. I mean, what was he thinking? What was the defense?
I don't know what happened there. I think it fell apart at that time. So many things were going back and forth, so many clutch plays that all of a sudden he certainly should have had someone guarding Grant Hill out of bounds. There's no way he's going to throw a perfect pass like that if he got somebody 6'6" or 6'5" guarding him out of bounds. And then Leitner, I mean, what can you say about this guy? 10 for 10 shooting, 10 for 10 on the foul line, and then he steps on a guy and gets away with it, right? What do you want from this guy?
Yeah. Best performance since Walton at Memphis State. Yeah,
I think
you know what reminded me of was that Russian pass that they beat us with
exactly,
in the Olympics.
the Sergei Belov pass there, which they threw that pass about 4 times before they finally went in, so they gave it to him.
Okay, Mike Tyson sentenced to prison this week, 6 years. You think it was?
I agree. I agree with these people.
Champ has his fans in the crowd tonight.
After all, wasn't he a convicted rapist? I mean, I seem to recall a jury actually saying the guy was guilty.
Right.
You know, and a lot of sympathy coming out for Mike Tyson.
I listened to your show this week, and you got calls about that it's a racist act, him being sentenced.
Well, they're trying to turn everything into a racist act. I think Mike Tyson got a very fair sentence, and I think he's very lucky. What I didn't like after the fact, Dennis, is Mike Tyson mugging for the cameras. I don't think he still realizes what he has to go through. You remember him walking out of the courtroom, and he was covered, his manacles were covered, and then he makes a sign like this. I don't think he understands what's going on there. I think it was a fair sentence.
Well, I know in your background you have, I know in your background you've had some ups and downs with gambling, and certainly you have been acquainted with denial. It just looks to me like he's in some sort of ironclad denials phase or something.
Oh, absolutely, Dennis. I think he is. I think he's in denial, and I think, very honestly, and I'll upset a lot of people by saying this, I think Michael Jordan's in denial, too.
Yeah, that's a big story this week. Yeah. Allegations that he has a bit of a...
It seems to me he's got a gambling problem. He doesn't want to fess up to it. And I think the best thing that he can do is just fess up to it, that he's got a gambling problem. I'm surprised that the NBA hasn't reprimanded him in some way. The one statement that I didn't like is Michael saying that he has a right to pal around with whom he wants to. I mean, that's the one thing that all sports is worried about, that you're palling around with unsavory characters. I think Michael was off base making that statement.
Yeah.
You know, he shouldn't have made it. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, you have to watch out for your athletes that they're, hanging out with the undesirables. I remember, Leo DeRocher's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame, all because he was accused of hanging around undesirable people. He was suspended from baseball for 1 year. Thank you. And
don't give us any Leo to live.
But Leo DeRocher's been kept out of the Hall of Fame for 45 years.
Real quick in closing, the New York Mets have agreed not, as a group, to not talk to the press. Growing trend. Do you think the press is too intrusive with sports figures, and is this the wave of the future?
Oh, I don't know. I think that the biggest problem I had moving from television as a producer-director to doing a radio show is that when I interview coaches and athletes, they never tell the truth anyway. So what's the difference? What are you losing if you're a newspaper guy? They're never going to tell you.
Just make it up anyway.
That's right, make it up. They're going to make the story up anyway. They're never going to tell you the truth. So what's the difference?
Good to see you boys again.
Good to
Chet
see
Forte,
you.
Steve Hartman. We'll be right back. Comedian Kevin Meaning right after this.